I think there's an aspect of it that's clearly has to do with one's own morality, because it's too easy to jump on that wagon of it's a disease or my brain's been hijacked.
There is a growing sense that Diddy may be facing the end, given the increasing number of individuals stepping forward to unveil his concealed secrets. The latest revelation comes from none other than Robert J. Downey, who has decided to share his side of the story.
It's easy to embrace hopelessness when things seem insurmountable, and yet it's actually just a matter of time until all of the elements come together for things to be all right. I mean, I believe that
Downey's account is particularly startling as it exposes Diddy's alleged connections with Clive Davis in carrying out disturbing actions.
Loosely prearranged destiny. And what's incredible is how far afield you can go from it and still find your way back.
So let's get started to know what the story actually is. P. Diddy and Clive Davis are long acquaintances from the days when Tupac's time was on boom. Even before receiving the Grammy Salute 2020 to Icons Award, honoree Sean Diddy Combs took the Recording Academy to task at the pre-Grammy Gala on that Saturday night. The event had already etched itself into the annals of the prestigious Clive Davis and Academy-hosted gathering. The night featured explosive performances by Beck, Brandi Carlile, Cyndi Lauper, Miguel, Santana, Faith Evans, and Lil' Kim. Amidst Davis's acknowledgments to luminaries like Beyoncé, Jay-Z, Cardi B, Dua Lipa, Janet Jackson, Ozzy Osbourne, Nancy Pelosi, and more seated in the star-studded audience, the atmosphere was charged with multiple standing ovations.
What most people don't know is that Diddy actually had a mentor that molded him into the monster he is today. Most of you should have heard about the powerful music executive Clive Davis and his contribution.
The explosive evening appropriately kicked off with a bombshell performance by Beck, who ignited the audience with a dynamic medley featuring hits like Loser and Where It's At. Following the electrifying opening act, Interim CEO Board Chair Harvey Mason Jr. delivered welcome remarks that briefly acknowledged the long-standing issues brought to light in the wake of allegations made by ousted President CEO Deborah Dugan over the preceding week. Grammy Week is the time of year when music communities all come together, Mason said, to celebrate and embrace one another, to reflect on our accomplishments and acknowledge necessary areas of improvement. Then Motown founder Berry Gordy sparked laughter during his introduction of host Clive Davis. Once again, here we are at this always happy event, seeing so many people you know, care about, and love, but never talk to all year. From there, it was Davis's show as he moved back and forth, alternately introducing stars coming on stage and those sitting in the audience. As Davis noted, it helps to know with whom you're sharing music. But there is a long-standing story behind all this respect, and this can be understood through Jaguar Wright. In her revelatory interview, where she openly criticized several members of the Hollywood elite for their dubious and occultic practices, Jaguar Wright disclosed a shocking claim that Diddy is involved in tea for Hollywood elites. This assertion may initially seem weighty and perhaps too extreme to be entirely accurate. However, considering the recent lawsuit filed by Cassie, accusing him of AT and other egregious acts, there appears to be a disturbing pattern emerging.
Devil! Devil.
In her interview with Real Life Production at the 114 mark, Jaguar Wright accused Diddy of engaging in tea for Hollywood elites, hosting peculiar parties where transactions involve only S and money, and allegedly orchestrating harm to those who tried to expose him. These are grave allegations to level against anyone, let alone someone as wealthy and powerful as Diddy. Making such statements carries significant risk, akin to placing a target on one's back. However, Jaguar Wright, along with Downey, appears unafraid or indifferent to potential repercussions. This fearlessness might stem from the belief that their claims about Diddy hold truth. Diddy's history reveals a pattern of abusing his power and status, creating a hostile environment for those around him. Wright and Downey made unsettling allegations, accusing Diddy of leveraging his position as the owner of Bad Boy Entertainment to coerce staff and emerging artists into engaging in intimate acts merely to satisfy his ego. Wright recounted an incident where a female lawyer within Bad Boy Entertainment, whose identity she protected, confided in her about witnessing Christopher Williams performing a S act on Diddy in exchange for a demo deal. According to Wright, the lawyer was a talented young woman on the cusp of a promising career, making the revelations even more disturbing. She was a wonderful woman, and she was a brilliant attorney, and she thought she was signing up for the ride of her life, she continued. You know, she was going to be head of legal at Bad Boy Entertainment and be a female, like that was a big deal, until she accidentally walked in on her boss's office and caught him getting head from a movie star, which he said was done for nothing more than an exercise of power. The female lawyer was so profoundly affected by that experience that she felt compelled to leave the company. However, the trauma she endured pales in comparison to what Cassie allegedly went through at Diddy's hands, as evidenced by court documents from the lawsuit she filed on November 16th. Cassie accused Diddy of persistent HA and control spanning over a decade, and that's putting it mildly.
And also Cassie for holding me down in the dark times. Love.
In 2022, when Diddy received the Lifetime Achievement Award at the BET Awards, he delivered a seemingly heartfelt speech, expressing gratitude to everyone who supported him over the years, including Cassie, whom he praised for standing by him. However, behind this public facade, court documents from the lawsuit filed on November 16th reveal a much darker reality. Cassie, referred to as Miss Ventura throughout the document, allegedly endured a harrowing ordeal with Diddy, trapped in a cycle of A, violence, and T. The court documents detail disturbing incidents, including Diddy A. Miss Ventura in her own home after she attempted to leave him. He allegedly punched, beat, kicked, and stomped on her, resulting in bruises, burst lips, black eyes, and bleeding. Additionally, Diddy is accused of destructive actions, such as blowing up a man's car after discovering his romantic interest in Miss Ventura. The list of A includes forcing Miss Ventura to engage in intimate encounters with male workers while filming, running out of his apartment with a firearm in pursuit of a rival industry executive, and demanding that she carry a firearm in her purse to make her uncomfortable and demonstrate his perceived danger. Furthermore, Diddy is alleged to have introduced Miss Ventura to a lifestyle of excessive alcohol and substance A, compelling her to procure illicit prescriptions to satisfy his own addictions.
You're one of the first. One of the first.
And I'm blessed to be in this industry.
Yes, and you're
I
blessed.
just try to blend it with my artistry.
Yeah, and you create that. I'm thrilled. I want to see that like tomorrow.
The lawsuit contains such disturbing details that it included a trigger warning on the front page. Lawyers, accustomed to witnessing various dark and unsettling situations, felt triggered by Cassie's case, indicating the severity of the content. It's essential to note that Cassie and Diddy's relationship traces back to 2005 when she was 19 and he was 35. At that time, she joined Bad Boy Records, eager to launch her music career and establish herself in the industry. Instead, she found herself in a toxic, substance-fueled, predatory relationship with a man nearly twice her age and significantly more powerful.
I was in a dark place a few years, you know what I'm saying? And I had to give a special thank you.
When rumors initially circulated that Diddy might be interested in her, Cassie expressed disgust at the prospect of being involved with someone much older. This sentiment dates back to 2006 when Diddy invited Cassie to perform his track Come to Me with him at the MTV Europe Music Awards in Copenhagen, Denmark.
Security strap still stacking a million.
Diddy allegedly ensured his presence in Cassie's life by assuming a father figure role, inserting himself into her personal affairs, including her 21st birthday party, and even going as far as reprimanding her for staying out late while clubbing with friends. By 2007, the court documents claim that Diddy had allegedly started D. Cassie. As a young artist aspiring to establish herself in the music industry, Cassie reportedly found it challenging to resist Diddy's demands.
Now Cassie's claiming that Met Gala, behind the scenes, the award shows, the relationship was fraught with abuse and intimidation.
The court documents further outline how Diddy exerted influence over Cassie's career. He purportedly presented her with irresistible opportunities to make a significant impact in the industry, while expecting obedience and loyalty in return. This dynamic suggests a troubling power imbalance within their relationship, where Diddy allegedly used his influence and authority to manipulate and control Cassie's personal and professional life. In this context, obedience and loyalty imply granting Diddy complete control over both Cassie's private and professional life, obliging her to cater to his every whim and desire. The court documents suggest that those in proximity to Cassie and Diddy frequently observed instances of Diddy's alleged violence towards her. However, a culture of fear prevailed, preventing anyone from speaking up, as they were purportedly too afraid of Diddy.
We saw this white woman. It was bottles on bottles on bottles around her. It was lit. Puff jumped out. Me and Cassie sit next to each other. My wife right here.
This brings to mind an unsettling footage where an associate of Diddy narrates how Cassie adopted a particular hairstyle. Initially, it might have seemed like Cassie was experimenting with a new, edgy style that was perhaps a departure from her usual look, but ultimately a personal choice. However, the truth behind this decision emerged later. It turns out that Cassie wore that specific hairstyle because Diddy had seen it on another woman and immediately decided that Cassie should replicate it. This revelation suggests a significant level of control and manipulation exerted by Diddy over Cassie. Cassie's response to such a directive indicates that she was under considerable influence and manipulation, as it is highly unusual for someone's partner to arbitrarily dictate such personal decisions, like shaving off their gorgeous hair. A spokesperson for Combs vehemently refuted the accusations, deeming them offensive and outrageous. The representative asserted that these claims surfaced following Ventura's purported demand for $30 million from the mogul.
And Cassie, whose real name is Cassandra Ventura, they're saying tonight that the two have settled a lawsuit she filed against the mogul yesterday in Manhattan federal court.
The statement further stated, Miss Ventura has now resorted to filing a lawsuit riddled with baseless and outrageous lies, aiming to tarnish Mr. Combs' reputation and seeking a payday. Ventura's legal representative informed the New York Times that she had been offered 8 figures to silence her and prevent the filing of this lawsuit, an offer she reportedly declined. Citing Combs' position as the founder of Bad Boy Records, the lawsuit claims that Ventura felt compelled to accede to his advances and offers of D to avoid jeopardizing her career. It describes how he enticed her into an ostentatious, fast-paced, and defueled lifestyle. Once their relationship began, Combs reportedly treated Ventura to extravagant vacations, financed apartments for her in both New York and Los Angeles, and adorned her with designer clothing while also supplying her with D. The lawsuit contends that this lifestyle was carefully crafted to maintain her complacency and compliance. However, as the relationship progressed, Combs allegedly became controlling and with instances of physical violence such as punching, kicking, and stomping. The lawsuit further claims that he coerced her into holding his guns in her purse on multiple occasions. The legal document portrays Combs, now 54, as prone to uncontrollable rage, alleging that he compelled Ventura to participate in S-acts with male S-workers, capturing these encounters through photography and filming. The suit suggests that she was administered D before and during these incidents, enabling her to disassociate during these horrific encounters. Additionally, the lawsuit contends that Ventura was a victim of ST, as she was allegedly compelled to engage in forced S-acts in multiple cities. In 2015, the lawsuit claims that Combs subjected Ventura to such severe beating that when his security guard and assistant witnessed her with 2 black eyes, a burst and bruised lip, and a huge welt on her forehead, they were moved to tears. Allegedly, she was consistently compelled to seclude herself in hotels until her bruises healed, according to Ventura's allegations.
Says that not long after she met him in 2005, when she was only 19 years old, he began a pattern of control and abuse that included.
The details from Cassie's lawsuit are indeed disturbing, alleging that Diddy forced her into engaging in explicit activities with multiple male prostitutes while he watched, masturbated, and recorded the encounters. The lawsuit refers to these alleged incidents as freakouts and claims that they took place in various hotel suites, including at the Trump International Hotel in New York City. One of the serious allegations is the accusation that Diddy was involved in explicit activities with Cassie, directing her to interact with male prostitutes while he observed for his own pleasure. According to the lawsuit, she was reportedly instructed to cover herself with oil and participate in explicit activities with multiple men, at times wearing masks and costumes.
So you feel like Diddy was having sex with the male prostitutes?
They had to be for both of them. They was in the room, right?
You're right.
It's a freak-off section.
It states that the music executive, who she first met as a teenager, told her it would turn him on if he saw her with another D. He allegedly hired a man and brought him to his home in Los Angeles to engage in the S-acts with Cassie. Mr. Combs directed Miss Ventura to perform S-acts with this man while Mr. Combs watched them, the lawsuit states. He masturbated while he directed Miss Ventura and the man to do specific S-acts. The entire encounter lasted multiple days. The lawsuit details a particularly distressing incident where Cassie claimed that during a freak-off in March 2016, Diddy got drunk and physically A her. According to her account, he allegedly punched her in the face, resulting in a black eye. In an attempt to escape the situation, she reportedly tried to leave the hotel room while he was asleep. However, upon waking up, Diddy allegedly began screaming at her. Cassie asserted that Diddy grabbed at her, seized glass vases from the hallway, and threw them at her, causing shattered glass to surround them. In her effort to escape, she ran to the elevator. Despite managing to reach her apartment, she claimed to have returned out of fear that Diddy would become even angrier. These details paint a disturbing picture of a tumultuous and allegedly abusive relationship between Cassie and Diddy, as outlined in the legal proceedings. When she returned, hotel security staff urged her to get back into a cab and go to her apartment, suggesting that they had seen the security footage showing Mr. Combs beating Miss Ventura and throwing glass at her in the hotel hallway, the lawsuit states. The lawsuit further alleges that Diddy took steps to conceal the incidents, claiming that he paid the hotel staff $50,000 to obtain the hallway security footage from the evening of the physical altercation. In another disturbing revelation from 2013, it is asserted that Diddy organized a freak-off, resulting in tens of thousands of dollars in damages to the hotel. Cassie, according to the lawsuit, was allegedly tasked with coordinating the location and hiring male workers for these explicit events. The legal documents state that Cassie was instructed to use websites and escort services to find men with specific attributes. Specifically, she was allegedly directed to search for individuals with large black P. The lawsuit contends that Diddy insisted on these encounters weekly, repeatedly telling Cassie that it was our thing and our secret.
Oh, she didn't want it, but Cassie, who searched for the big black, and she was searching for the big black.
Cassie's claims suggest that these freak-offs were not isolated incidents, but rather occurred in various hotel suites across different locations. The alleged venues include the Trump International Hotel in Columbus Circle, L'Hermitage Beverly Hills, the London Hotel in Los Angeles, and intercontinental hotels throughout the country. According to the lawsuit, Diddy's assistants were purportedly involved in facilitating these explicit events by providing items such as baby oil and lubricant, implying a level of organization and planning in the alleged occurrences. The lawsuit states, Mr. Combs always supplied Miss Ventura and the S worker with copious amounts of D before and during the FOs. Miss Ventura was given ecstasy, C, GHB, ketamine, M, and A in excessive amounts during FOs, which allowed her to disassociate during these horrific encounters. It became commonplace to get IV fluids in the days after an FO to recover from the excessive substances pushed upon her. She claimed Diddy would ask her to pour excessive amounts of oil over herself before he instructed her and the S-workers what to do. Mr. Combs would say things like, grab that big black D and ask her, how does it feel? As he directed her to perform for him, the lawsuit states. Now, how is this all related to Clive Davis? Clive and Diddy have a very old friendship from the time when Biggie was attacked once. The aftermath of Tupac's death indeed led to heightened tensions, and the situation escalated dramatically. The turning point came when Biggie, despite the charged atmosphere, ventured into California, considered the enemy's territory, without any protection. The ambush occurred near the Peterson Automobile Museum at a stoplight, leaving Biggie vulnerable to an attack. According to the account, Diddy was said to have taken cover under the car with a sense of fear. Interestingly, rumors circulated that Diddy was regarded as a target by Suge Knight, a notion supported by various sources. In an interview with The Real Gully TV, Nemsio Curry shared a recollection of an incident in which Diddy was allegedly subjected to a brutal beating by Knight. This incident is also mentioned in Curry's book, Dancing with the Devil.
Forget smacking. Put the full Nelson. Yo, I'm telling you, you're not getting it.
He said
put the full Nelson. Yeah, Jake the Snake Robert, like this.
Well, Mark was really enjoying retelling this incident. He enthusiastically relayed that Diddy was weak and a pushover, so he couldn't even get out of Sugi's hold, no matter how much he tried. But then again, what could he even do when he got scared out of his mind whenever Suge's name came up? Even Keith D, his former gang member, knew that Diddy had Navy SEALs protecting him 24/7 because he felt continuously threatened by Suge Knight.
And this Navy SEALs in the next room. They looking like the FBI with earpieces and everything. Like, damn.
And that was not the only time this physical altercation had happened. But if you think Half Nelson's bad, you wouldn't handle the incident Keith Murray told us. According to Keith, there were actual punches involved when Suge came onto Diddy because some deaths were involved.
Shook. Pow! Smack the door dog out of Puffy.
Those sure are some heavy punches you talk about Keith, but the fans are rather skeptical of this incident because of his terrible illness, and they have no doubt that Diddy has something to do with it. Keith Murray is hilarious how he tells a story and stands up and acts it out in an interview. Keith Murray has me dying in every interview he does. Puff seems to have every artist he has dealt with publishing. Puffy is a snake. Unlike others, fans believe everything that comes from Gene's mouth because his story never changes over the span of many years. As many times as I've heard Gene tell this story, which never changes, it's almost like you're hearing it for the first time because of how articulately and vividly he shares the memories from that horrific night. Damn. And that is not all. Kirk Burrows revealed that their trip to LA was not planned, but Diddy talked Biggie into going and almost 2 weeks ahead of time at that.
He was talked into going to the LA portion of the trip so that he could be out there ahead of time. He was out in LA so there wouldn't be a big rush.
Another key piece of information that Kirk revealed was that according to their schedule, Biggie was supposed to head to London, where Clive Davis has arranged a marketing campaign for Bad Boys. But as fate would have it, Diddy again intervened and called Kirk personally, saying Biggie did not want to go there.
P. Diddy, whatever his name was during that time, called.
Whatever Diddy's deal was, no one can say for sure, but he surely did not want Biggie to grow. Well, no matter who K Biggie and who was involved, the fans still mourn the death of Biggie Smalls with all their heart. No other rappers will get the same love as Biggie and Tupac after so many years. Straight up and down. To date, we still have millions speaking about them, and not only that, so many people still cry over them. Real love to the two greatest of all time. However, it was also rumored that Diddy and Clive were in a relationship also, and Diddy's past is filled with such examples. Evidence shows that Diddy is a strange man, and strange things turn him on. One of Diddy's favorite things to do is luring straight men into his cars and making them have S with him. He did the same thing to rapper Method Man in LA. Method Man was sitting in a club in LA when Diddy approached him. Diddy must have been attracted to him because he then proceeded to hit on him in a rather weird way. Instead of talking some more and then inviting Method Man to his place like a normal person, he decided to send someone else to trick him into sitting in the car. Maybe this is like a game for Diddy, and he enjoys putting these straight men in uncomfortable positions. Method Man wasn't the only straight man Diddy had sneakily tricked into an uncomfortable position. Another rapper, Zebit, has come forward with his horror story. Diddy invited him home for a good time and then took him clubbing, only to find out later that this club wasn't just an average club. Instead, it was a very explicit gay club. Zebit was ignorantly trying to party and have a good time when someone pointed out to him that the men at the club were kissing. Zebit was taken aback but didn't think anything of it until he saw another man dancing B*TT naked in the middle of the club. That's when he realized that Diddy had tricked him and taken him along to a gay club. Diddy has never openly admitted to his attraction to men, but he's also unafraid of being caught acting his fantasies out. In fact, in private parties and events, he very openly acts gay. People have suggested that Diddy can go to any lengths to fulfill his own desires. That's it for today. See you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.